Hello and welcome to Catalyze Music Academy. My name is Zaak Kerstetter. I'm an Ableton Certified Trainer. And for today's quick tip, I want to talk about a feature that often flies under the radar, which is stereo LFOs. Not every LFO in live has stereo capabilities, but the few that do are a really great way to add a bit more kind of texture and organic motion to your sound design. So we're going to start off using Sampler. This is the only instrument, as far as I'm aware of, that has stereo LFO capabilities, although there are also a few audio effects that can do this. So I'm going to start with Sampler, and let's go ahead and go to my samples folder, and I'm just going to grab a saw wave, keep it real simple and straightforward, which sounds like this. And we'll go ahead and loop it. So what I'm going to do is first go to our filter/global section, and I'm going to take this and turn it down so that way we are filtering out most of our high frequencies. And we're going to go ahead and modulate that with one of our LFOs. There are 3 LFOs in Sampler, LFO 1, 2, and 3. LFO 1 is a little bit different and is not stereo. So no stereo options, but you can map it up to 4 parameters. LFO 2 and 3 are exactly the same. They have options for only 2 parameters, but also have extra options for stereo LFO, which is what we're looking for. So I'm going to turn these guys off, and let's go to LFO 2 and map this to the filter frequency. In order for this to actually work, I need to turn up the amount. And that's going to get us that LFO motion that we're looking for, just moving up and down. So now that I've done that, we have 2 options for our stereo LFO, either phase mode or spin mode. In phase mode, as I turn up the phase here, we can see we have 2 separate LFOs, one for the left side, one for the right side, the left being blue and the right being yellow. And now that they're going to move up and down separate from one another. Keep in mind, this is going to work best if you have headphones or speakers where you can hear panning going on. You can hear that kind of just offset each other. And I can change the amount here. So at 180 degrees, they're going to be opposite each other, or we can kind of offset them just by a little bit. Which creates this cool kind of like off-kilter motion that's really nice. It's a cool way to kind of like play with your audience's ears a little bit. So that's phase mode. If you want to, you can also offset it, and this will adjust the phase for both of them together. On top of that, we also have spin mode, and this is really where the magic happens, in my opinion. So in spin mode, your 2 LFOs are going to start at the same place, but they're going to have different speeds. So as I turn this up, they're going to be off each other quite a bit. The way I like to think about this, if you've been sitting at a red light and you see 2 people's blinkers and they're synced up and then they kind of go out of sync and then they go back in sync, the same kind of thing is happening here, but with our LFO. And we can also still use our offset control. So really awesome. That's basically the concept here, but we can now start applying this to different places and getting really creative with it. One thing I would like to point out is that the stereo LFO in Sampler works different than the other stereo LFOs in that all of them work in spin and phase mode. You can always adjust the phase. However, in Sampler, this is the only one where if you sync it to the grid, you can still use spin mode, which is kind of cool. So it's a little extra bonus there if you're using the stereo LFO in Sampler, but none of the other stereo LFOs that I'm aware of can do that. So for example, if you were taking a look at the LFO inside of Auto Filter, we have our rate. We can either sync it or unsync it. If you are unsynced, you have options for either phase or for spin. And if you are synced to the grid, you only have options for phase. And that's true for pretty much every stereo LFO I found in live so far. You can also find this in other audio effects, things like corpus, chorus, phaser, flanger, a few others out there. But the one inside Sampler, like I said, works in synced mode for spin. And this also gives you this nice visual depiction of what's happening here. Whereas all of the other LFOs, you kind of just have to hear what's going on and you can't actually see it. So really cool feature, really into this. This is a great way, like I said, to kind of play with your audience's ears a little bit, make things sound a little more organic, a little bit kind of off kilter, a little bit more out there. Artists like Flume, I hear using this all the time where the LFOs aren't quite on time, but it still sounds really cool. This is a great way to do that and add a bit of texture to your sounds. So hopefully you enjoyed watching that. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more videos coming out like this. On top of that, please feel free to check out our website, catalyzeacademy.com, for info about workshops and classes and lessons that we're offering. On top of that, if you have ideas for topics you'd like to see me present on, please feel free to toss those in the comment section below. Again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.